Hi, Timberwolves. Miss Robolino coming in today to go ahead and welcome you back. Happy New Year. So today we are going to be focusing on college ed, as in like college education. So as a middle school student, we are preparing you for this high school adventure. And then after high school, it comes to the question of, now what? What do I do now? Most of you already have an idea of what you're going to be doing after high school, but you're not really sure exactly how the process works. So this unit is a very short unit, about 6 days, and we're going to be spending the time going through what happens after high school. So let's go ahead and let's go on this adventure together. So the objective today that we're going to be doing is to identify the different options available for after graduating high school and looking at possible college or junior college. These are all options that you have, and many of you may be a little misunderstanding on some of them. So let's go ahead and let's take a moment to go through them. So here are just some options just to quickly go over, just a brief understanding of it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at where it says career. So a couple things to realize is you can actually just go straight to a career after high school. Many people do. Most don't, but there are a short amount of people that do that. So a career is right after high school, you go straight to work. The starting income is going to be around $35,000 a year, depending on the skills that you have gained. And we'll talk about that when we look at the different types of classes you can take in high school that can help you start a career right after high school. The next one you could look at is a community college, so or known as a junior college. This usually is about 2 years when you take basic courses like English, math, science, and you just get that basic associate's degree. And now that is important because it's going to give you knowledge as well as the ability for critical thinking that can help you on career choices that you may want to look at. So again, that starting salary is around $46,000 a year. And again, it can go up, it can go down, depending what state you are in. So a four-year university is the path that many of you may be taking or be thinking about. So a four-year university is basically your bachelor's degree. So you attend school between 4 to 5 years, depending on what you look at. And you either go for your bachelor's, which is just kind of like a regular knowledge about school, just a regular knowledge about what you want to study or major in. And then your master's degree, which means you actually dive into a career path where you're becoming a master at it. And then you can finish off with your doctoral degree, which is where you become an expert in a particular field. Now, each one is very different depending on what you choose to go into, and how long depends on what you are going for. So those are just some things to kind of think about with a four-year university. You can't get a doctorate's degree in 4 years. Depending on what you're looking at, you can be in school for up to 12 years or more. So another option that you could be looking at is military. Many people like going into the military because of what can be offered after you complete a term or a tour is what they would call it. So you either enlist in a branch or attend a military college to gain some type of officer, just to gain some type of officer area. There are many military colleges around the country, and those are just options to kind of look at if you're really looking to use the military as a career path. You know, if you enlist, you're making $20,000 a year, and then an officer income, depending where you are, about $100,000 a year or more. But again, you have to go to school. You can go to school and then enroll into the military, or you can just enroll in the military and work your way up. Those are some good questions and some good research things to look into if you're into military options. The last thing you could be looking at is a trade school. So a trade school is where you are actually going to school to learn a trade, such as HVAC, which would be air heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrician, construction. In the medical field, you could be looking at a PCN, so someone who helps the nurse. You could also be looking at x-rays. or, CT, CAT scans. These are just some different things that you do not have to go to a university for. You can go to a trade school for, and there are many of them around the country. So it usually takes 2 to 4 years of the course, and you exclusively do online or in-person training on that career that you are looking for. And then that's where you would get that information. So the average income is about $42,000 a year. There is one thing that is all in common for this. And I just want to let you know that the only way that you can go to any of these options is graduating high school. A graduating high school is needed for all of these career paths or all of these educational paths. So it's very important that when you go into high school, you take it very seriously. So let's go ahead and let's take a little further look on. So our next thing that we're going to be looking at is, let me just take this off, I'm so sorry. Okay, you're going to be looking at the high school options. So you can either go to school by going like a regular endorsement, which means you go to school for 4 years. This is the typical high school graduation plan. It includes your basic classes plus an endorsement. And we'll talk about that a little bit later with endorsements on what you're looking at. And then the other way would be your GED. For those are for people who drop out of high school for extreme circumstances. And then from there, instead of going back to high school because of their age, they get their GED, the General Education Development Test. What I can tell you, you cannot take this when you graduate junior high. There's unfortunately no way you'd be able to do that. It is a very long, strenuous test that is very difficult, and you need to be able to go through high school to answer many of those questions. So again, it's an option for those who didn't get the opportunity to go to high school because of extreme circumstances. Okay, but most people go through the Foundation High School program. That's what we are preparing you for. So basically, when you're taking a look at this, it's Distinguished Level of Achievement, the DLA. The DLA is just a distinction you receive on your diploma and transcripts. Okay, it indicates that you have completed your foundation high school program with specific extra courses, whether it be math, science, English. This way, you can be considered for the top 10%. And those are usually students who apply to and get many scholarships, or they go to specific schools and get like full scholarships. So again, you have to be looking at those particular distinguished level achievements. It has to be in either science or math. Okay, a dual credit course. This is when you're looking at a course that gives you 2 points. So it gives you 2 credits, one through the high school foundation program, which is your high school, and another is earning college credits. That's why it's called a dual credit class. So you actually end up getting 2 different grades. What that means is you get a high school grade that goes towards your transcripts to go to college, and then you actually get a college grade, which means you are working towards your GPA towards college on classes. So you attend class while you are in high school. You do it inside the high school, and you receive college credit for that course. Okay, and this is a really great thing that is available to students starting their sophomore year. So it's very important to take it very seriously and be looking at what is needed to be qualified for a dual credit course. And you'll learn that as you get into 8th grade, and as well as when the counselors come to talk about it. Now, there are AP courses. So AP courses stand for Advanced Placement. And what that basically means is there is actually an institution that deals with advanced placement classes that are going to be for students who qualify for, and they have to take a test at the end to earn college credit. So if you do not pass the test, you do not earn that college credit, but you do earn credit for the class in high school. And I just want to make sure that you understand that there are 2 different things. So depending on what college you want to go to, it will determine what classes you want to take, whether it be dual credit or AP classes. And these are questions that you are going to have to sit down with and speak with your parents and even your high school counselor when you get into high school. What is going to be worth it for you? What's going to be helpful? Because dual credit classes are coming from HCC or Lone Star, which is here in Texas. And not all colleges abroad or domestically outside of Texas, they may not take those credits that you took for the dual credit classes. So please make sure that you investigate that as you get older and you go into looking at what college you would like to go to. So again, then you have CTE courses. These are basically courses that you are going to attend to obtain a certification or a license. For example, cosmetology, mechanics, cooking, culinary. These are all different things that you can actually walk out of high school with some type of certificate to be able to start your career. So as I mentioned before, you can leave high school with a career, but it all depends on what you do in high school to receive that certificate. Many of these CTE classes are not going to be offered until your junior or senior year. Rarely you can go and attend a lot of these certificate classes in your lower undergrad year, which would be your sophomore and freshman. So please make sure that you look into that before you go ahead and say, yep, this is what I'm going to do. Just understand that you have to be able to go through many classes before you get there. So that is just like a brief understanding of your high school options. Again, it's a lot to take in. Just take your time, think about it. You will get the full experience when you go into your high school career, and you're going to love it. It's all a beautiful journey. Okay, next we're going to be taking a look at is careers. And like I explained to you with your high school options, it will help you on that way. So you basically are going to be going into a career with options that require a high school diploma, and they require some sort of on-the-job training. Okay, job options can make up to $70,000 a year. They include like media equipment worker, people that work backstage. You could also be looking at like a postmaster, someone working for the post office, transportation inspector. So they conduct safety inspections for flight, rail, transport, flight attendants, supervisor, sales manager, branch, any of those things are going to need training to get there. You don't really start off with that job unless you have some type of experience. So don't think you're going to leave high school and you're going to be like, yes, I'm going to be a manager. It doesn't work that way. You usually have to start from the bottom and work your way up, or go to school for a job training that will allow you to have the experience and the ability to lead in that particular role. So again, the military, as I was explaining before, you have enlisting, which is starting at $20,000 a year, and you can enlist when you are 18. You'll find out more when you get to high school. There are some people that are there that you can speak with, or you can go to your local office. But basically what happens is you work in the military force, you receive on-the-job training, and from there, you work your way up depending on how much you want to be able to move up within the military. Some people go to the military to help pay for school, so they only do one tour, which is 4 years. And then from there, they will go ahead and pay their schooling for them. So some people who don't really have a lot of options for school, they choose this method. You can actually enlist as an officer by going to a military school and become an officer, a captain, and work your way up that way. And then from there, you can complete degrees and major in anything, and then start your career within the military at a higher rank. It just depends on how dedicated you are into being in the military. And if you are interested in the military and you know you want to make a career out of it, I do encourage you to do the military schools. If you do complete your tour, and I mean, if you do complete your schooling, there are times that if you work within the military within the time that you're supposed to, and you make it a career, there are possibilities for that college funds to be completely given away. Basically, what that means is they pay off your loan. That is options. Not all schools offer that, so that's going to have to be the research that you have to do that. Okay, so community college or junior college is what it's called. Now, this is a community college for 3 different types. You can go for HVAC, which is heating and air conditioning, paralegal, someone that helps a lawyer prepare, computer programmer, radiologic technician like X-ray, CT scans, MRIs, ultrasounds, any of those things that you've ever been to, someone has to be trained for that. A web developer, and a dental hygienist. You do not need a college degree to do this, but you do need a high school diploma to be able to apply for these community colleges. Okay, so just some things to kind of think about in what you're looking at. Now, again, the salaries totally depend on what you're looking at. Trade schools. Trade schools is basically where you're going to learn a trade. You can be looking at as a licensed practical nurse. So it's called an LPN. Whereas if you want to be a registered nurse or a BSN, which means that you are a nurse and you have a bachelor's in nursing. That is something else that you can also do. Just understand that nursing has different levels. Okay, electricians, respiratory therapists, radiation therapists, ultrasonographer. Okay, these jobs are running between $50,000 to $90,000 a year, not starting, but again, that $90,000 a year you can work up to as you kind of go through. So again, there are options for you. And as you being that age, you may not exactly know what you want to do, but these are good questions to kind of keep in the back of your mind so you can ask your parents or ask your teacher to be able to help guide you. Okay, and then you have your four-year university. Now, this is the one many of you are going to be doing. There are four different types of year. There are just four different types. You have four-year colleges, but they all offer the same types of degrees, bachelor's, master's, and doctorates. But each school kind of has a different program that may be better than another. If you ever heard of MIT, so that's basically the Math Institute inside of Boston. Many people who want to be in astrophysics or they want to go ahead and be mathematicians, and they are very good at it. They usually go there. You see other people that want to be lawyers. Harvard is a well-renowned school, or Suffolk University. They have programs that are developed to be expert or well-known, and they're just things to kind of take a look at. So a bachelor's degree, you can get bachelor's degree. It was just a general scraping of the surface of a type of career. And then from there, you would get a job and then decide to pursue a master's degree, which would make you a master inside that particular job. So engineer, teacher, physician assistant, social worker, nurse, accountant. These are things that you need a degree in. You need to be able to learn it, and you become certified towards the end, depending on what you look into. For me, Ms. Robolino, she has a master's degree in education, but I also went to school for history and science. So, I have a bachelor's degree in different areas as well. But then I pursued my master's in education to go ahead and be a master in my craft, a master, which means someone who understands their career very, very well. Okay, and then a doctorate degree, which means you are an expert. You are an expert in that career. And these are just some different things to kind of take a look at. Research scientists, professors, all of these have a lot of requirements and a lot of studying, and you're just kind of taking what's there and creating a new foundation for future people to study. So a doctorate degree takes a long time. It's not like you spend 2 years and then you're done. It's a very long amount of time. So just some things to kind of think about if you want to do that. So for example, if you want to be a doctor, you are going to go in for that doctorate's degree, an MD, and then from there you're going to go to your internship, and then your internship to your residency, and then from there your fellowship, which is where you're going to choose to stay. There's a lot of moving parts to it. Most people that want to become a doctor are spending about 10 to 12 years just to become a doctor, not even a specialist yet. Specialist means you're going to have to go further and go from there. People that want to be judges, again, you have to be a lawyer, work your way up, then go for your master's and then get your doctorate's degree and move from there. Our superintendent had to have a doctorate's degree in education, educational leadership. So again, people that are in high positions have to have they have to be experts in their craft. So just something to think about if you're passionate about a particular career already. Okay, so here, this is going to be what you're going to complete today, looking at the information that you have. What is it that you're going to do to high school? And you're going to go ahead and kind of fill out this 2022 date with things that you are interested in. I would like you to pick at least 3 of the 5 that was presented to you and kind of fill in some information from there, just to show you understand the different paths from high school. So each one, and then don't forget to write a small little summary describing each number in the year 2022. This will be collected for a grade, and it will be collected on the date that your teacher selects. So just please make sure you write that date down when they say it. All right, guys, that's all I really have for you today with the 2022 date. We're finishing up, and tomorrow we're going to go ahead and take some information at looking at different career paths. All right, have a good one. Bye.